everyone, Diggy here with my first solo video. I'm going to have to get used to this. Okay, so when we first created the Geeketeers, we wanted to cover more than just the Geeky 5, as I call it. These are film, TV, comics, books and video games. We didn't just want to do those because there's more things to be geeky about. There's science and nature, there's computers, there's all sorts of things. In my case, it's trains. Anyone who knows me, it's probably just my friends at this point, will know that I am famous for this video.
I like singing. I like dancing.
I like trains.
I didn't make that. I'm not Tom Scott, I will say that right now. But a lot of people know I am a massive train nerd. It doesn't matter if they're full size or if they're miniature. I do like trains. And this week just gone, I attended a local model railway exhibition. Model railway exhibitions, they could be any size. They could be from a couple of layouts and possibly someone selling some books in a community hall, up to the top end in the UK is the Worley Railway exhibition at the NEC. Alicia and I are going to be going to that. We may even have another report following that. I'll stay local for now though. The one I attended was run by the Isle of Thanet Railway Society. That's my local club. There were about, I think, 15 or 16 layouts there. A few more traders than that, selling anything from books, models, hobby supplies. A couple of them were raising awareness for like heritage railways and that. We've got a light railway in Sittingbourne, and the society that run that were raising awareness and selling some of their branded products. And there are all sorts of scales. We had everything from one the traders were showing off an example of a Z gauge layout, which is a small or very small continental layout. I think it's about 1 to 220 for those who know scales. There are a couple of N scale layouts. One of them was run by club members, and that was really impressive. There was also a small one which shows that you don't need a lot of space to run a layout. It's a good little shunting puzzle layout. There were no point motors or anything, so it was much smaller. It could be much flatter. It was all run by wire and tubes to control the points or control the sections where wagons be uncoupled. We had quite a few 00 gauge layouts. That's the sort of thing that Hornby make. And like I said, there's a club layout. It's based somewhere between Buxton and Manchester, I think. That was running digital sort of about the 90s. We also had other small layouts around at that scale. We only had one O gauge layout. I couldn't get any footage for that because whenever I went past it wasn't really running. But no, N and 00 were the main areas covered, which, to be honest, is at this moment in time the biggest areas people are going to see. It was held at St George's School, one of the local schools, in their sports hall. That's where it's been, I believe. Speaking to one of the other members, I think they said that it's the 3rd year that the exhibition's been running. I was only vaguely involved in last year's. I'd only joined the club just before the one before that. Funnily enough, I've been this week coming. I'll have officially been with the club 2 years, and there was lots of space, lots of traders. It was really quite busy. The amount of people that attended both days, it was impressive. I found that with multi-day events, it's usually conventions, but something like this as well. It's Friday's okay, Saturday's busiest, Sunday is fairly quiet. With this, I found that both days were quite busy. It might be that it was a different crowd, like modelers on one day, families on the other, because it was a 2-day event. We had miserable weather on the Saturday, which might also have affected numbers. I thought it was a really well run event, and there was a lot to show, a lot to buy. Admittedly, there could have been more bargains, but that's controlled by the individual traders. I was quite impressed with the variety of the stock we had. Like I said, we had things up to fairly modern. We had things going as far back as 1930s, I think one of the layouts was. We even had one layout based quite locally as well, because there was Manston Airport. It was a wartime era layout, which was quite impressive. So it was a lot of shunting around, lots of war supplies, that kind of thing. I really quite liked that. I only managed to get a picture of that one. So yes, the next year's exhibition is the 17th and 18th of November. It's the same sort of weekend. The adult ticket prices are £4.50. Over 60s is £4, and the change that I do like for next year, children go free. Something like that is what's really needed in the hobby, because it allows people to bring their children, get them interested, otherwise it's slowly going to kill it off. Something like this is really quite exciting. The Canterbury Miniature Engineering Society were present. They had one of their stands. They were showing off some of the models they had. They had scale models of a couple of mechanisms which were moving. The scale versions of the original ones. The originals were probably been working off Steam. It's not safe to really run live Steam like that in the hall. So they were running off compressed gas. You could hear the compressor a few times if you were paying attention. They also had some of their scale models. Some of their, I think one of them was a 5-inch gauge class 37, which was really big, really impressive. They also had a 3.5-inch gauge. I think it was Great Western engine, which was also really cool. Because they do they do miniatures rather than models. Miniatures would obviously be the bigger gauges. You might get them at certain parks. I know that there was a miniature railway at Moat Park when I was younger in Maidstone. And locally there's a park over in Ramsgate, the Ramsgate Miniature Engineering Society there. They have a permanent layout set up. Well, it's just a loop, but it means they can run their engines set up so they can run 3.5 and 5-inch gauge. There's going to be groups like that all over the country, and if you're interested, a quick Google will tell you what's your local group. So that's my report on the Isle of Thanet Railway Society's annual exhibition. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot of footage for you to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, any thoughts, put comments, like the video, share it. And I've been Diggy, and I will see you in the next video.
We geek, therefore we are with the geek, that's it.